Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to be talking about colors and most importantly, what we call the rainbow colors. So, um, we live in a duality world where everything has two. There's male and there's female, which is gender or sex. And we live in a matrix. So everything is two so that everything can mate. And this is how life is made. Everything is made because everything mates. So when we talk about the difference in two, what we're talking about is actually higher and lower. So one of the most important debates or desires or aspirations is the dominance of the higher mind as opposed to the dominance of the lower mind. So we're always fighting with these two extremes and understanding that these are two extremes that actually work together is to know that pain is protection because when you are facing pain, you're protected from certain things. Like I was watching Sadhguru, who was talking about how if it was painless for a person to like remove his stomach instead of exercising, if it was painless for them to do that, then nothing would stop them from doing the painless, easy thing. But they are preserved in body and mind because there is pain involved in like dissembling your body. So this actually preserves you in a way because we're like little kids in a sense. So this is how duality works, and polarity and gender and sex. So understanding that everything is love is understanding love and sex. So here, when we're talking about the different chakras, we're actually talking about this concept that is mostly promulgated in English literature about the energy centers in the body that give a person certain energies that are vital to survival. And through the unlocking of these seals or energy centers, a person is able to experience a deeper sense of reality. So this was mostly spoken of in Hindu and Indian teachings, but when you actually look at it, you'd see that this is, if anything be true, it has to be universally true. So this is actually true in terms of different things, in terms of how the universe is set up and how they count these chakras. So apparently, being in your higher mind is when you are dominated by the higher chakras in your actual body. And when you're in the lower mind, then you're dominated by the chakras that are in the lower regions of your body. So, so there are seven chakras, just like how the number seven is the powerful, majestic number of perfection. This is the same number of the colors of the rainbow, which is the bow that is around the throne of God. So the number seven is also the number of weeks, the number of days in a week. Every week has 7 days because this is a number of perfection. And the world or Genesis speaks about the first 7 days and what happened in those 7 days, and no other days mattered. It was just those days that were so important. So this number is also important, and it seems like it is also resonant in all of the other understandings. When we're talking about the seven lights of God, the seven candlesticks, we're actually talking about these seven colors in the body, which is the light of whatever is in our body. So this is actually embodied in so many different aspects and understandings. And how you take it is really how you're taught to take it. How it was first presented to you is how you actually took the information. In support or against all of that. So it's important to unlearn so that you can learn. So when we're talking about these chakras, so there are seven chakras. So the first chakra is like attached to the gonads, attached to the sexual organs. That's the first one, the base one. That's the base chakra. And then the second one is on the navel. The third one is the solar plexus. The fourth is the heart. The fifth is the throat. Number six is the third eye. The third eye is pretty cool. And the third eye is your insight, your inner vision. Your throat chakra is how you talk, how you project, how actually people see you, how you actually manifest. And the heart is about the connection with everyone and everything around you in the world. So the heart would be where the higher self starts. So it's heart, throat, and third eye, and then you have the crown chakra, which is like a halo, which is just on top of your head. So the crown chakra represents your brain. So this is where the crown is. So through this, you actually have the understanding of higher mind, which is when you are using your heart and when you're using everything that is north of that. So you have the base chakra, which is the sexual chakra. So when you're in the lower mind, everything that you're doing is, first of all, just about sex and survival. It's just about sex and survival. This is all you need, and this is what you just want. Caveman type of thinking and behavior. And the second one is the stomach. So you're now just thinking about feeding your stomach. It's just all about consumption. You just want food. You just want food and nothing else. And then the third one is the solar plexus, which is where you're thinking about clothing and shelter. This is why when you're feeling cold, you're gonna hunch over and you're gonna go closer to your solar plexus, closer to your heat. So this is when you want your own security, your own heat, your own house, all of these things. And then after that, we have the heart. And when we're talking about the heart, we're talking about networks, connection, love. Okay? So now when we're talking about love, we're now in the higher sense. We're now in the higher self, because we've already had heat and clothing and shelter and food and sex. So we're set. It's all cool. And because of this, we're now able to love. We're now able to experience connections, relationships. We're now able to develop things. We're now able to do for love and love what we do. This is a higher sense of being, a higher purpose. And through this, it means that you have escaped the first chakra, which is very tricky, because the first chakra is the sex chakra. So a lot of people never leave the sex chakra because they are addicted to sex. It's a hypersexualized society. So yeah, sex is awesome. So this is why the first chakra is very hard. And it is the basis. It has four leaves, and four is a number of stability, strength. So this is very structured. So sex is actually structured in our minds. Sigmund Freud, it's actually structured in our minds, and everything we do has a sexual intent. So the best way to actually handle this is to do something called sexual transmutation, which is when you're focusing your mind on something else, but using the energy, all of the energy that you have in your body. And this is in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. He speaks about that. So you can check that out. Anyhow, so the heart is the higher mind, and the throat chakra is the higher mind, because what you're saying is manifesting everything. So when you're speaking with your with this chakra, when this chakra is open, when you're aware, this is what it means to be conscious of this, to be aware of this. This is how you open them. So when you're conscious of your words and their impact, it means that you're now speaking with purpose, which means that you're now using this chakra or this energy, this seal. This is actually called zeal. You're using this zeal. All of these are zeal: sexual zeal, food zeal, seal or zeal, and sun zeal, which is the solar plexus zeal, heart zeal, like a zealous heart, and throat zeal, and then the third eye zeal as well. Okay, this is a seal or a chakra energy point. So when you're using the third eye, then this actually means that you're now using your inner mind. If the whole body, like Jesus actually spoke about this eye, is like your eyes are what give your body light. And how great is the darkness when your eye, just one eye, is dark. So this eye is in darkness. So if you never realize that your thoughts or your spirit, your soul, is the one in control of everything, then everything will always be dark because you're not able to have light in your whole body. This is what Jesus was talking about. He's talking about the whole body. Jesus was actually holding the 7 stars in his right hand. Says that these are the angles of light. These are the angels of the 7 churches, the 7 lights, the 7 stars. And what he was actually doing was he was actually holding himself as a light body. And he was the stars, but because he is the church, it was actually a 4th dimension loop. What he was holding was him, as him. So anyhow, so these chakras are actually the light in the body, okay? And this one is the light of your mind. So when you're aware of your thoughts, when you're like, no, I'm not going to think about this. This is how Jesus would come and say, because he was there for the higher sense, right? So he was actually saying that your desire for sex, like if you're actually thinking about sex in that light, like if that's the light you're bringing into your mind, then you're actually committing adultery without using the other chakra, because your whole body, your hands, are powered by your stomach. So whatever you're touching and doing is powered by your stomach chakra, which is the 2nd chakra. The food, clothing, and shelter chakras, these are the lower chakras. And then the heart, the esteem, and the actualization, these are the highest chakras. And this is also directly linked to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And after this, we have the crown chakra, which represents actually it's the hair, because the hair is actually a chakra, because it says that the glory of well, I'm kind of forgetting the first part. I don't know why. But then anyhow, like it is the glory of the white hair on a person's head is a crown of glory. And this is called a crown chakra. So this is the final chakra, the actual hair, which actually just gives you information. It is just the crowning piece. What does a king use a crown for? It is just to show, So this is just the light of God, which means that the favor of God is upon you. It means that everything you're doing is fruitful. This is the crown of glory that was given to Joseph, who actually was the stars in heaven. You remember, these lights in the body, these lights in the sky. So this is what it's all about. And through this, he was actually crowned the king of Egypt. And when we're talking about this, what we're actually talking about is linked to leaving Egypt. Okay, it's linked to that whole story. But he was the king of Egypt, or the governor. Okay, because he had the crown. So he was crowned in that aspect, in that mentality. Because he actually defeated sex, he defeated all of these things, and he was able to emerge in that sense. So when we're talking about the higher mind, these are the things that we're talking about. And the crown chakra would be the righteousness, the truth, the wisdom. Okay, every king needs wisdom. So this is wisdom in a nutshell, the crown chakra. So this is why long hair was associated with wisdom. Solomon himself had dreadlocks. This is in Songs of Solomon, chapter 5. When this woman is looking for her lover, who is Solomon, he say like, "Oh yeah, have you seen my lover? I was looking for him in the streets. He has this hair that are like locks, like the black feathers of a crow. This is what his hair looked like. So it's a bit thicker than mine, but it was a bit like that. So through this, we have this understanding. So another aspect and another dimension that is very important to realize is the fact that the higher mind and the lower mind has this meaning that when you're ruled by your heart going up, you're automatically in your higher mind. But in that, there's also a loop in the sense that as long as you are still in the place where your mind is reigning supreme, you're still in your lower mind. Okay, so look at it this way. This is where your mind is, okay? This is your brain, Okay, and then your brain is where the crown chakra is. The third eye is where the third eye crown is, and then your brain is here. So everything in your mind, okay, should be ruled by your higher mind, which means that things that are above your yourself, your body. So when you're in your lower mind, you're still in your mind. Okay, when you still think that your ideas are the best, when you're like you don't want anyone to tell you anything, you're just the messiah because you have all of the messages. It means that you're in this lower mind. You're low. Your mind is here and you're low, so you're still in your lower mind. When you think that you have the best words to speak because you are aware of your words, you're still in your lower mind. This is your mind. This is lower. This is lower. When you think that you're so nice because you're kind and generous, you're still using your heart, but you're using it in your lower mind. And when you think that everything you do is going to be noticed by everyone because of your solar plexus, all of this stuff is your lower mind. When you're like, all right, I shall marry the princess so that I will be powerful, this is your lower mind speaking, even though you might be doing it with some knowledge. So everything that is in your higher mind is everything that is not concerning your body. This is when you're selfless. This is when you're living with nothing, which is self-sacrifice, which is saying that you do not matter. This is the true sense of higher mind. So when you're saying that you do not matter, but all of the things that are outside of you are more important, when you would rather give than for you to get. Okay, this is when you're taking things to a higher mind, because through this you're being empathic, telepathic. And I have this video about empathy, telepathy, compassion, and all of those things, and psychopathy. So all of these things are part of your higher mind. So when anything is removed from your mind, this is what it actually meant to leave Egypt. They were leaving. Do you know, like the pharaohs had the snake over here? This is where the cobra was, because the kundalini was going to rise in your body, and it will come here where the pineal gland is, which has that meaning. But the loop, you should always know that we live in a very, very infinite universe. Very infinite. That's redundant. But when they were leaving Egypt, what they were leaving was the mind, the matrix, how the thought processes in this place were. They were going to a place where there is no law. They were going to a spiritual dimension. This is the fourth dimension. So when you're in your higher mind, when you're in your true higher mind, you're automatically in the fourth dimension. So this is why Jesus would do all of these acts for 33 years, right? And then these 33 years are 33 vertebrae in his body, and the chrism rose, right, until it reached his mind, until he was like, no, I'm gonna give my whole body away, so that I'll give it away for nothing, so that I will be in my true higher mind. So his higher purpose was to die so that people could actually get his higher mind, so that we could get to the fourth dimension. And when you watch the video that the hex, like life is a hex, how Jesus broke the hex, you understand the cross of crucifixion, and how he actually operated that to happen. So he broke the hex, and through this he actually broke into the fourth dimension. So understanding this, that this is all about the fourth dimension, being in the higher mind. It's being in the dimension that you exist, but you can neither see nor touch. So it's actually outside of your mind, but the loop is that it is your inner being. This is Paul speaking, saying that you should be strengthened in your inner being, but even though it's outside of you. So this is the fourth dimension, the in and the out. Okay, so this is where the angels live. They walk up and down. So this is how you're able to go in and out. This is the fourth dimension. This is your higher mind. So yeah, so this is what we're talking about. And that's how you leave the pyramid. This is the hierarchy of needs. And this is the only way that you can leave the pyramid, okay? So through this, we understand that the Egyptians were not crazy. But they were also trying to access the fourth dimension. A pyramid is a tetrahedron, okay? So already they're communicating with God, which is the tetragrammaton. And through this pyramid, the only idea of the pyramid was so that they could leave and go to their higher mind, which was the alignment of the pyramids to the highest lights. Okay, because we're talking about the lights in our bodies, which are the four angels or the four stars, the four sun, the seven stars, I mean, and these were linked to the pyramids. So this is what they were doing by leaving their bodies to go to a higher mind. So this is all about that projection. So to go out of your mind, to go higher. This is what it actually means, to go higher than your mind, not anything lower. Anything lower here, this is your lower mind. Even if it's your heart, even if it's your throat, even if it's your third eye, it's the lower mind. But then the higher mind is when you go beyond your actual mind. This is the true essence of it. This is how Jesus becomes the sacrifice, and he gives his life. He gives his whole body, and he says that you have to take up your cross. You have to sacrifice yourself. This is what it's talking about. Sacrifice yourself in love. What is love? I have a video of Love and Liberty. Watch that, and you'd see that love is nothing. Love is doing something for nothing. Love is not keeping score. So love is you becoming nothing. You are love. You are God. You are nothing. So through this being nothing, you're able to do everything. That's the power of love. It's a loop. It's really beautiful. I don't know if I could have made a better world if I were God. Like, I couldn't. I couldn't. Anyhow, yeah, thank you so much. Like, I'm actually battling a cold. Um, right now I'm doing much, much better. But the past couple of days I was actually out sick, so yeah. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure if you watched this long, then that was something you'd want to hear. But I appreciate you for watching this, and I really do appreciate it. Like, if you just reach out to me, I would really, really love to just hear what you're about. I really appreciate anyone who has any questions for me. Yeah, and all of that. So yeah, peace and love. Actually live in liberty, do what you love and love what you do. And I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.